you doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, good. So what brings you over here?
Oh, just want to show you my 94 Toyota Supra.
Yeah. It's a clean looking Supra.
Thank you.
So going back to your early stages, you've always been a fanatic for Supras for a good time. And what was your very first car you owned?
My very first car was a 79 Olds Cutlass, and loved it. When I turned 16, got my license, my dad gave it to me. It was his car, and the first thing I did was made it different from everything else.
And what you got done to it?
With the 79 Cutlass, I put in a Olds 442 tail back then, stuck in the back. Took a Toyota Celica front spoiler of an 84, slice it up, mend it together, put it in front so it looked almost like a little race car there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that turned heads, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah. People were wondering like, oh, what kind of motor does it have in that thing?
Yeah.
It looks pretty badass.
Especially with the spoiler, sticking in the way too.
But it's funny, it only had a 289 V8 in there.
And gas back then wasn't cheap, or it was cheap.
It was reasonable, better than nowadays. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And what happened to it?
Got tired driving for a while, grew older, sold it, and got my first Supra after that. Got my 1989 Toyota Supra. It was midnight blue, beautiful car, Villa interior, nice and shiny. Got that in the early 90s, and the first thing I did to it was boost up that little turbo. Yeah.
And you've been in the Supra game for a very long time, man. So
yes.
Tell us exactly, what made you get into Supras and why is Supra versus other cars out there?
Yeah. Well, my first love is Toyota. My dad started working with Toyota back in the late 70s. And from there, I learned to trust the quality, trust the car. And then when the Supra came out, loved them. My friend had an 85 Supra with digital dash. Loved that car, with the spoilers on the side and whatnot. So when the opportunity came after I graduated, college a little bit, went and grabbed myself a 89 Supra, the dark blue one, and there's history from there on.
And you were basically a second owner to that car? Second
owner. Yeah. I think I purchased in the early 90s, so it's probably about only 4 years old at that time.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Back then I was young. I always want to change different cars, and I'm constantly changing new car, not new, but a different car every maybe year, 2 years. So just to let you know, in my lifetime I owned probably about at least 12 or 13 Supras, so, among other cars too.
So you're no stranger to the Supra game, man.
No.
Man. You weren't one of those where Paul Walker drove a Supra at Fast and Furious, and you know what? I'm gonna have to get one of that too. You were the original Paul Walker.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's my car in the movie there.
So did you get excited when that movie came out?
Definitely. It was exciting. It was nice. It was, and you know what? It's all about cars, so it can't go wrong with that, right?
What was the first MK4 you've owned, and what year?
That was my black 93 Supra MK4. Beautiful car.
And where'd you get that at?
I actually drove all the way, I bought it off eBay and drove all the way down to Tennessee to pick it up. And then drove all the way back. Yeah.
And anything done to it? Any performance or anything unique, color-wise, or?
Always had to do something unique. Back then, there wasn't too many Supras that were really decked out, so of course you got to do the wheels, right? Got the new, aftermarket wheels on there. Back then, they didn't have that wide of wheels. I put on some Enkeis on there, so it was like 18 by 8 or something like that. Looked a little ridiculous, but the car looked sweet though. It was lowered. Of course, we had to boost it up a little bit too to make the performance. Yeah.
What kind of performance did you get done to it?
On the 93?
Yeah.
Just basically boosting it up. You got a boost controller. Back then I used a manual boost controller to get that sucker going, so definitely running about, I think 16 pounds boost.
How many horsepower do you get that with high friction?
Probably about 350 or so. Back then it was pretty big, but yeah, today's standards nothing, but it's probably about 350.
And what got you into the show cars? game of like bringing your Supra competition?
What really got me, it's funny, is my nephew Ricky. He started off doing shows with his signed TC. I believe it was probably 05, 06 TC. He lowered it, put turbo on it and everything. It was a really sweet looking car. So he started doing shows and he asked me like, Uncle Pras, let's go do some shows. So I started bringing my Supras out to different shows. Back then I didn't have much done to my car. Maybe just a side skirt or a custom-made front lip, whatnot with LEDs. We did hit a couple shows together and had fun. Definitely had fun. I stuck to it. He bailed out on me.
And what was the first recognition award that you ever got doing all these car shows?
Wow, awards. First one. That's going back. Don't exactly recall, but I know one of the big awards that I received was probably from Tuner Galleria a few years back. Jim Penn, he was the one who organized the show. Is more or less our season opener here in Chicago. It occurs beginning of March. One of my first, that I figured that's my major show. Got that award from there, and yeah, there's.
And it just got bigger from there, right? Basically blew up.
Yeah.
When did it, basically it got big for you that you started sensing, like good things were happening at that point, that your car, Supra, can bring you to these car shows and feel confident in winning an award.
Yeah. Well, the Fast and Furious did help a lot, right?
Yeah.
It brought recognition to the Toyota Supra, so people looking like, oh, it's a Supra. And then when it comes to see me at the shows and see my car, it's like, oh, a Supra. And then it get me motivated to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's starting to get more recognition when I start doing more of the body aesthetics, like the bumpers and stuff. The bumper is currently on this car is custom made by myself. It's actually two bumper mended together. We have a Deluxe style lower bumper. Lower half of the bumper and the top half is an old Blitz that I chopped up and made into one. It was unique, and people were looking at it like, oh, that's so cool. So started getting a lot of recognition from that, and then later on just different styling. I had the TRD wing in the back. Now I'm using the APR. So yeah, that's where I mostly started. And then year by year is progression. I start off with a bone stock Supra, nothing there, put wheels on it. Next thing you know, I'm doing a little bite kits here and there, made a front lip for it with LED turn signals. And then the following year or season after, went to audio, put a whole full focal speakers inside. So there's probably a total about 10 speakers right now in the car, including the rear sub. And then additional body styling. And finally, my last mod was the going single on the Supra. Car, when I went to single, only had 78,000 miles on the original 2JZ. Now it has 80,000 miles on it.
So this Supra, the latest one that your collection, right behind you, this is basically the main Supra throughout your course of years of owning multiple Supras that has led you to feeling pretty much confident that you're gonna keep going, progressing more with modifications onto a Supra, correct?
Yeah. This Supra is the one I have kept the longest of all my cars. It really hurt me when I sold my '93 Supra black one. The moment it drove away, like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have sold it. So the following season, I grabbed this one, paid a little more for it, bone stock, like I said, and started playing with it and kept it. So, yeah, definitely. Hopefully keep it for a little longer, or a lot longer, I should say. It's hard to get to the point where I'm don't know what I need to do next to it or what additional mods. Who knows?Maybe we'll do wrapping or something, make it a little different.
Yeah.
Change things around a little bit.
Interesting. I mean, the list goes on, man. You got a lot of work done to her, with not just looks and appearance-wise, but you also got performance. What kind of size turbo again was that?
It's a Borg-Warner 364. It's not the biggest turbo out there. Definitely, it's not the smallest. The goal of mine, when Jonathan Gauthier and I talked about the build, we want something that's reliable and not have to worry about fixing it all the time. So we went with the BorgWarner 364, and then the rest is history. He did a lot of the fabrications for the mod, the downpipe, the way plumbing of the intercooler and whatnot, and also Art Ectagero also helped out with fine tuning the modifications, and then finally brought the SP to get the final dial up in the Pro EFI. Well, the motor is basically a stock bottom end, no modification or anything. Mostly it's cosmetic, and the turbo here. Cam covers was powder coated by Vanilla Gorilla as well to match the wheels I have. So, and we polish up the intakes, and then custom made the intercooler piping using vibrant connectors so it won't slip off in case I'm, who knows, magically racing somebody or running around. The turbo itself is a BorgWarner 364. Also has a sound performance quick spool valve underneath it, so we won't have any lags on there. I used the short runner manifold, exhaust manifold. We ceramic coated, and also use Inconel heat shielding that they use on a Formula 1 car to keep the heat down. So something a little different, and yeah, we were running using a fuel management Pro EFI 128 tuned by Larry, sound performance. Basically, it's pretty much it. It's a lot of just polishing, cleaning up, making it look better. Yeah.
And this isn't the first work that you've got done to it, right?
Yeah.
It was first one set back earlier, and then
yeah.
some life.
Yeah. The engine is converted to a VVTi motor. Originally was a GTE motor. We had a little difficulty after the single conversion, in which we had to swap out for the VVTi.
And what size injectors are you running on this?
This is a precision 1200cc injectors, upgraded fuel lines, and I think dual wall barrels in the tank. Yeah. And also is running on E85 as well, tuned for E85.
This is all what, fiberglass or?
This is all fiberglass. Yeah, I made one winter when I was bored the whole winter. I decided I wanted a sound system in the back. So lay out this fiberglass with the 3 JL audio speakers. Then later I went and made this valance here. Yeah, a little more color, more pop to close it off the backlit a little bit, and also to cover up the Memphis amps in the back.
Who did the work for you?
I did it myself.
You did it yourself?
Yeah, did all this myself in the garage.
The molding and everything?
Yeah. This was done in the middle of winter, and then the following year I did the rear valance. Hand cut the Supra logo myself. It was cut from plexiglass and scissors and a lot of heat.
So what'd you do? You first had some kind of wood, right, to get the shape of it, and you molded it down?
I made a box out of MDF to line up with the trunk here, and then lay fabric on top of it and lay fiberglass over it, and then finish it off. This rear whole subsystem is made to be removable, so I still access the spare tires in case of emergency. And all of this is removable with a wing nut, and this just lifts right out and unclipped from the audio.
So it's not just basically like a holding component, but is it even on the sides too? Like everything is all in one body?
Yep. This is one unit.
One unit.
All together, all the way to the bottom, is resting on the stock carpeting. And this is a second unit, which is, with the bracket that holds attached to the main unit base. And all these speakers, there are plexi rings underneath it. It's all lighted up. Nighttime to give a nice red glow, look like it's burning hot music coming out of there. And the lights underneath, sometimes they run. I can set it to dance to the music if you need to, or just straight out display. Okay, the body kits here, side skirt is a Stillen urethane side skirt. I chose the Stillen because it's urethane and it's more flexible and not fiberglass, and it fit really nice. So I stuck with that, painted red to match. So this is all Stillen, and the fender here is a custom-made fender. Actually, it's a factory steel fender that is cut and pushed in. Again, made by Dark Alley Design, Mike Sorek. So hit him up if you looking for some custom work done. This is a custom front bumper that I built myself. I had 2 bumpers laying around. I had the old Blitz bumper, which fit really nice, but ugly front end, almost reminded me of Darth Vader's helmet. So I had that sitting in the garage, and at that time also I really liked the Dolok bumper a lot, and I bought a replica and it didn't fit right. And one day before tossing out the bumper, I decided, you know what, since I'm going to toss these out anyway, I want to see what I can do with them, right? So what I did was I took the two bumpers, sliced them right about this height here, mended together, and come up with this particular bumper itself. It's unique. The bottom here is a Dolok style bumper, and the top half is the Blitz. I like this configuration because the Blitz, the Dolok normally is more pointier front end. It has a little shallow front support right there, and this one here is just more rounded, a little fuller and less aggressive looking. So I really liked it a lot. Okay, the back end of the car is basically, you have your stock bumper, and the lower is the rear diffuser, is a top secret style rear diffuser, which I just put on there to make it look fuller in the back. And tail lights is custom LED tail lights made by a Supra member. I believe his name is Blue Angel. He did a nice carbon fiber inlay there with LEDs. Beautiful. I feel like it's one of a kind almost.
So again, what kind of transmission is this?
This is an Toyota transmissions built by ATF, and it's a stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
They redid the valve body and also the second gear spray. It's been modified. I think they made it out of billet.
Got it.
It's supposedly handle about 1,000 horsepower. So,
okay, let's just go like around the block. The brakes are good?
Yep.
Do you get a lot of tension when you drive this car?
Yeah. People always look over and wave, give you thumbs up. It's a nice car and everything. So yeah, definitely get a lot of attention getter. This is not people think, oh, you got a cool car as a chick getter. No, you'll attract more guys and girls. So
that is true.
Yeah.
So you say you take this mostly just for shows, and you don't go crazy, what's the feeling about it that you get as an enjoyment just by, just taking it for a cruise and not really going full throttle at it?
Yeah, it's the attention.
Mm-hmm.
People look at the car, they appreciate the car. Some people don't even know what it is. They answer what kind of car it is, and you tell them like, oh wow, I didn't know Toyota had that car. But it's a lot of it is the attention. The kids who know the car, they come up, give you thumbs up, and, so compliment you. That's the nice part about it.
But you gotta be very cautious in what roads you're going into, though.
Oh yeah, especially this thing's being lowered. This used to ride a lot lower before, but every year I was scraping, cracking my bumper, so I decided to raise it up a little bit. But yeah, you gotta be careful before going to a show. Normally I try to stake out the route, make sure there's no big dips or the road is not full of potholes, and try and get around it. Going up and down driveways is difficult. Being a lower car, you can scrape and whatnot.
Now, how often do you think that, throughout your lifetime, how many miles have you actually put onto it?
On this car?
Yeah.
I purchased this car, it had about 67,000 miles. That was around somewhere around 06 or something like that. Now it's only has 78,000 miles under, so about 10,000 miles within how many years?
Yeah.
So not much. Mostly driven to show, and pretty.
Just go straight.
Yeah, just pretty cautious when I'm driving, because there's always somebody who's either not paying attention, looking at you, and not paying attention, swerving to you. You gotta be careful with all that. Or there's always some kids who probably want to try to race you. So, but being in a Supra, a lot of kids, come up to you. They don't want to try to race you. They know what they're capable of. So, in that sense, I use my mind a little bit.
So sunny out.
Yeah.
But it's LED though, right?
Yeah.
Or is that?
It's digital display.
It's digital display. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
And it basically reads out your temperature.
Right now it's set for my coolant temperature. Let me see, my transmission temperature and oil right now. So, and I could change the display face to display whatever monitoring system I want to see in there.
Does it shift pretty hard from like when you're giving it full throttle, like maybe to the ground?
Well, being a built trans, it shifts hard altogether, even at slow speed. It's like all or none, it's just like bam, bam, so like you really feel the jerk on it.
So that shift right there that I'm feeling,
that was going to first gear.
It's pretty aggressive, huh?
It is. Yeah, none of those, smooth shifting. Because basically, when your car shifts smoothly, it's really your clutch is sliding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just program through the clutches to slam together. Less wear, I guess, right?
But when it's shifting in highway to go like to the higher gears,
mm-hmm.
do you still feel that too, or no?
Not, you feel it, but a little better, right?
Yeah.
Smoother.
And what boost do you have it under right now?
I think the maximum dial-in is 35 pounds of boost.
Right now?
Right now, currently, it's probably, I think I have it up at 35 psi, but we haven't hit 35 psi.
Yeah.
I know a certain time when I hit it hard, not in full throttle, I'll fishtail. Still trying to get used to the new turbo setup. It's new to me still. Don't want to push it too hard and end up in a wall or something, right? Yeah, a lot of guys built a car for drag strips and, Supras for horsepower. I just built mine for show.
What blow-off valve is that?
This is actually the HKS blow-off valve.
Mm-hmm.
It's old school blow-off valve. It works. And it's also welded into my throttle body. Yeah, the whining noise you hear was the turbo spooling up already.
Mm-hmm.
It spools up pretty quick.
So there's no low gear on this, or low drive on it at all?
It's still the full auto like you normally used to, first, second, third, overdrive.
Right.
Overdrive. It's still the same thing, it just hits harder at the lower gear.
You weren't thinking of ever getting a TH400 or anything?
TH400 has a lot of play in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a 3-speed trans, I think, or with the overdrive maybe 4, right?
Yeah.
So, if anything, I'll switch over to a T56 6-speed that Corvette's running. I hear a lot of guys they make conversion kit already and seem like they have pretty good success with it, and they're strong transmission.
And with this Supra, you don't go take it to the track or anything like that, right? Try and get a quarter mile run or anything.
No.
It's just for show.
Yeah, I built this car especially for show. Even though you see a lot of performance power in there, I do not race it. I drive slow. My comment from my wife is, I drive like an old man, a grandpa. So definitely no racing the quarter mile, whatnot.
Oh, you guys go cruising together too?
No, just me.
Just you?
Yes.
Does she like to go in the car with you or anything?
She'll steal my car sometime.
Oh, sure.
in the old days, but I think
Do you have a Costco or anything special?
no. Yeah.
Any special shout outs to anyone out there?
Oh, yeah.
Taking their time to help you also as well achieve a dream that you wanted for this car?
Definitely. Shout out to Jonathan Gautier for with the fabrication, the setting up the single turbo. Art Ectigero for helping with the the finishing touches on the engine, the motor. Dark Alley Design, Mike Sorek. He did the customized factory front fender. It's a Toyota fender that's not pushed in and vented, and he did some of the painting on the front bumper, the hood, the fender as well. Definitely. And then Larry at Sound Performance for doing the tune on Pro EFI.
Any shout out to Tri Culture or anything too?
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to Tri Racing Culture. Chris Ocampo get us back in the team for for organizing all of the car show events, getting us together. Chris, we need to get together again for more shows. Starting to slow down a little bit here, buddy. Definitely. Yeah, a lot of us, we all have families and, we all have things to do, but definitely it's always a wonderful thing to get together and do car events or just, sit around and shoot the breeze. There's some car events that we park a car, people are walking around judging, we're just sitting shooting the breeze and sometimes I forget the time and next thing you know it's time for awards or whatnot. But definitely, great bunch of people. If you have a chance to go see us at some of the shows, come visit and say hi. We're always willing to help talk to you.
Any other shows in the future that you'll be participating in?
I think I'm going to do my next one on schedule is Tuner Evolution. Is happening in October at the Schaumburg, Renaissance Hotel. So it's an indoor-outdoor show. Hopefully it's going to be a great one, big one. Definitely. I can't remember. I think I went into Tuner Galleria.
Tuner Galleria.
Right. That's
Okay.
what I'm proud of. Right.
Right. And that. Oh no. That was your first one. That was.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what my first one, but I think the one I remember I had the most.
Okay. Well, let's go. I'll post edit all of this.
Okay,
So
yeah.
It's gonna be chopped. All right. So,
It's probably a Toyota show.
what was the biggest show you've ever entered into?
The biggest show is probably Hot Import Nights.
What was so special about it versus all other shows you went into?
Most of the other shows. Is it on right now?
Yeah, it's recording. we can
Okay.
and during the post edit, you won't even recognize it.
Okay.
The man behind the curtain is chopping everything.
Okay.
So